Well, praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
So happy to see you guys
I
today.
know.
Welcome to Marriage 101.
Marriage.
Kim, I was thinking about this today when you left. I said, we have
This
to
is the
give
way you said, like I was running some
Yeah, you know what I'm
errands.
saying? You went out of town. You went out of town.
Okay.
And I was saying that I never told them the background text for our series that we've been told. So I'll talk about that, the background text that
Come
we've
on
been
now,
using.
you
I'll
gotta
introduce that.
let them know it's based on the word.
Yeah.
Okay.
People just think you're just coming up with stuff.
You just talking.
Yeah. So I want to make sure I do that. And but I was just thinking about that when you had left. I was like, I forgot to tell them that part, But how was your day? You missed church today.
No.
You didn't come.
No.
So she didn't go to church today.
No. First off.
Oh, you watched it online?
Not only did I watch it online, but I spent some very quiet time with the Lord.
She pushed all of us out the house this morning so she could be by herself.
Pressed on in. I had to bind and loose.
Yeah, another amazing service.
Loose and bind.
Yeah, it was another amazing service.
Awesome.
He did something I think I'm going to implement, or I'm going to join him in this.
Okay.
He does this thing. It's called Share Warriors. Share Warriors. So when people share his broadcast when they're live, he give them a gift card.
Oh wow,
that's amazing, isn't it?
I like that. When you said share, I got a little nervous. You know how people share, show and tell. Life is like, no, we're not sharing. People sharing their information. I think about.
So
I thought it was another hook on.
And your gift card match your followers. So if you got 10,000 followers, you get a $10 gift card. That's a lie. I'm just.
Okay.
Look, she was going to start getting some followers. Listen, she was going to start getting some followers and start. Let me share.
I was going to say, wait.
Christmas coming up too.
Wait.
Lord, no, not around this time. It ain't Christmas yet.
Okay. But I thought you was going to say share, how people have testimony time. I was like, I don't know about that.
All right, guys. So I want to introduce our series that we're going to start on next Sunday. That's going into another month. So I want to introduce that. And then we'll go into Pillow Talk. And then we'll go into the show. And we got an amazing thing for you, okay? Awesome. We'll come back and talk about it a little bit after I introduce the next topic that we will be discussing. Are you breaking the law?
Okay.
Did you know that there are laws that govern marriage?
Okay.
There are laws. And so we're going to go over these 7 laws that govern marriage.
Okay.
It's going to be good. Because I think
like that.
A lot of times people, they're wondering, like, man, why is it not working for me? Well, you're breaking the law. For example, there's a spiritual law.
Okay.
Whatever man sow, that he shall also what?
Reap.
Right? That's a law. That's a spiritual law. Right? And so sometimes people are always wanting a harvest. They want God to move in their life.
But they don't
have any seed in the ground, right?
Stuff they put,
that's a spiritual law.
Or what they're putting in the ground isn't what they want to come back out.
And you know what's crazy about that spiritual law? So many other religions believe in that law. They call it karma. They call it karma. So you could be breaking a law in your marriage. And now that's why you're wondering why it didn't work. I'm sorry, guys. We're going to keep going.
No, we're fine. Don't worry. We have a little visitor. That's fine.
It's okay. It's okay.
One day you guys might meet Mr. Rocky. That's Rocky barking.
All right. So let's move on to our next segment. All right, we call this Pillow Conversations.
Okay.
And in Pillow Conversations, this is a topic that my wife has not seen the topic before. She don't know what I'm going to even ask her. She don't even know what the topic is about.
Okay.
This is her first time seeing the topic, so we're going to talk about that, okay? I'm opening up with a question this time.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
And I want you to
be
honest, and I'll tell you mine after you tell me yours first,
okay? Okay.
What is the most embarrassing thing you've done, but nobody knew about it? So in other words, you did it and you was kind of like self-embarrassed. What is the most embarrassing thing that you've done, but nobody knew about it but you?
Probably several things. And so I probably would have needed some time to think about that.
I like getting off guard. I like catching
over the years, but
you want me to share mine?
No, well,
share yours next week.
From being at work all day and then your clothes were inside out.
Right.
And people probably noticed and didn't tell me.
This says it's bad.
Oh, wait, another embarrassing thing I did. People did find out, but it's just because I fessed up. I was getting gas one day. I used to commute a distance to work, and so it wasn't easy for me to come back home and correct the issue. I was almost at my job, and I went to get gas, and I got gas on my clothes.
Oh man!
But I needed to keep going to work, so I smelled like gasoline all day. People were like, "What's that gas smell in the hallway?"
That's dangerous. You never told me about that.
Well, I just made sure I ain't go near none of the smokers.
I don't want anything to happen to you, man. You know what I'm saying?
But everybody was like, "Y'all smell gas."
Everybody smoke on college campuses too.
They was like, "Y'all smell gas in the building."
That was me. Did you ever change the clothes?
I didn't. I smelled like gas all day. Did you not?
That's when you should have went to that closet. Y'all had that clothing closet.
We didn't have a clothing closet then.
At the time, yeah.
But I just stayed in my office and tried not to let people, follow the gas smell. The
most embarrassing thing that I've done that nobody knew about is that I did a wedding, and I know these people are watching the video.
Well, maybe you don't.
So I did that wedding, and I told them afterwards.
I was gonna say, you have a license or something?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say, oh my God.
So after I did the wedding, we've done weddings. My wife and I, we do weddings together when we do weddings. But this one I did by myself. I can't. Your father just passed.
Okay.
Her father just passed. That's why you didn't do it. I think her father just passed. So anyway, so I got up and I did the wedding. I always open with our background text: leave, weave, cleave in the book of Genesis. Now then I talk about how God ordained wedding, and it started in the Garden of Eden. And then I talk about that, and then that's when we go into the thing.
Okay.
Well, I said God ordained marriages in the Garden of Gethsemane, and I started talking about the crucifixion.
I don't remember that.
I know you didn't go. You didn't make it. Remember I told you your father just passed, so we had a lot going on that time.
Oh, so you didn't have your better half there to nudge you, be like, baby.
I was so embarrassed. And you know how you realize it like in the middle of your sermon? So then I had to kind of.
It's people that probably attended that wedding like, oh, Lord help them. They probably was like,
I had to kind of bring it away, and I talked about the cup.
It was probably
that he drunk from. The cup, see, when he talked about that cup of suffering,
so bad.
See, he drunk from that cup of suffering so that you didn't have to suffer.
Probably some big mamas in the audience like, oh, Jesus.
That was my most embarrassing.
Nothing but heathens.
All right, guys, we're here. We're ready to go into this topic. We're gonna jump into. You want to hold the notes this time?
I got it.
Okay. And so we're gonna jump into the topic, and we've been ministering on communication. Remember, I told you that I want to give you our background text. You'll see us from time to time. We'll wear this T-shirt from time to time, but here is our background text for the scripture, and I don't have it up there.
I just saw it.
There's no.
Okay, well, just tell them.
But here it is right here. But this is the shirt that you'll see us wearing all the time. Okay. The scripture talks about when a man leave his mother and father, and they cleave together, and it said they're no more two,
but they're one.
But they're one flesh.
They're one.
And so whenever we take people through premarital advising, we always start right here: leaving, weaving, cleaving.
Yes.
Leaving, weaving, cleaving. But nobody showed you how to do that. Nobody shows you how to do that. And we believe that this communication piece is very critical to you leaving, weaving, and cleaving.
Exactly.
I think that's very, very important. So we talked about three sides of communication. We're going to end the part of communication today. We said that, first of all, talking verbally and non-verbally.
Yeah.
You have to talk. And then we said listening. That's what I ministered on last week. And then today we're going to talk about the third part. There are three critical parts that has to take place in order for communications to take place. Okay. It's almost like when we tell people when they come to us with a problem, we always say, it's three sides to every story. It's always three sides. Their side, and the truth. The truth. Because people's perception is their reality. So, but we're going to minister tonight on this third part.
Okay.
And I believe that this is the most vital part. Because I believe that if this does not happen, communication didn't take place.
All right. Effective communication, yeah.
You can say, I say you didn't communicate it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Well, you use the word effective because you always want to be effective whenever you communicate.
You want to be effective. You talk, but it didn't accomplish what it was intended to.
And that third part of communication is understanding.
Remember that song by Understand?
What,
Okay, never mind.
no, what you
All I need from you is understanding. And we can
see? Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
When you said that, I was like, I do remember that song.
Yes,
Is that right? Is that right?
I think
All I
that's
need
from you is
understanding. Okay.
I think so. Now, you know, I ain't the best with songs.
I didn't know.
I think that's what they said. Maybe they said something. If they said something else, forgive us, y'all.
Easy as 1, 2,
Two,
3. Understanding is what we need.
Understanding is up. You gonna make me
You know,
okay? Go on, go.
I don't
Okay,
know
let's
if that's
focus.
the name of the song. Kim said it is, but I don't know if that's the name of the song.
You're gonna make me look it up. Keep going. Keep going. Go on. Tell
All right. So we want to talk about this. I believe that understanding is the most vital part of communication. Here's my wife always says this whenever we're in heated debate. And I want you to understand what we will talk about understanding, because see, so many things can impact communication. So many things
it
can
is
impact,
by escape.
Okay.
Understanding.
So many things can impact your listening.
Yeah.
So many things can impact your interpretation.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's why we titled this What I Said versus What I Mean.
Yeah.
Okay. And you want understanding. Everybody wants to be understood. You know, that's very, very important. My wife always said this, and this was very, very key when she would say this sometimes. She would say, no matter what we were going through or how I said something, she knew, and this was like one of her filters, he loves me.
Yeah, and what I meant by that is, you know, sometimes we talk with couples about how they communicate. And I think you should try your best to communicate in an effective way. We're not trying to be ugly or things like that, but sometimes things don't always come out the way we intended. But what kept me from, I think, help not misunderstanding is I always knew the place that you were coming from. And I knew you were always coming from a good place. You were always coming from a good heart. You were not trying to hurt, even though sometimes your packaging wasn't the best.
And at this moment, I want to give you a compliment. You texted me earlier this week and you told me, you said, honey, thank you for providing such a good life for us. That was such a good text. It really was. That was a really good text. Kind of struck my ego a little bit.
I am quite amazing. I tried.
And notice she said that was her ground, that she knew that I loved her. Because see, it's so many things that can impact the way you understand something.
Oh yeah.
And I wrote down some things. Number one, pressure. It can impact speech and the way you understand it.
Sometimes you're trying to hurry up and get something out, and it just doesn't land.
Right.
The way it's not intentional, but you're in a rush. You're trying to say it before you forget, and you just let it out.
Well, when tensions are high in the house, and when it's high, you know what I'm saying, that those pressure moments. Yeah. And some pressure is not bad pressure. Like last year, my wife and I, we was putting our son, getting ready for college. You know, that's a major transition. You know, and then just the stuff that comes with life and the ministry and all the
sometimes
pressure.
You have a lot of things pulling at
and
you.
And it impacts speech. It impacts the way you say something. And you be like, I know I said that, but that's not what I meant.
Pressure, saying it from a place of being tired and fatigued.
Right.
It just doesn't come out the same way. And so you have to be intentional. And you know, the thing of it is a lot of times in our workplaces, those of you that are managers and that are leaders, you know this. So when you're delivering or you're talking to those that you work with, you think it through to make sure that it lands properly. But at home, we just let it fly.
Yeah. I put on here emotions impact speech. Yeah. You know, saying something out of emotion sometimes.
Frustration, irritation.
Yeah. You know, sometimes you're just trying to, you know, you're going through sorrow. All of those things can impact speech.
Even you might, sometimes we've said things, you know, maybe you just in a playful, silly moment, you say something like that wasn't funny.
That wasn't funny.
You didn't think about that. Right. You're like, that wasn't funny. We don't need to joke about that.
I remember when my father passed away.
I ain't saying that.
No, but you would always say, now I don't mean anything by this.
I had to go and set it up.
And she would ask me, are you ready to deal with
you in a
these
playful
jokes?
Yeah,
you know, because we joke each other all the time. Because I joked to her about.
I ain't say no jokes about you.
See, when her father, was going through his thing before he passed away, right? He was really ill.
His thing.
And I remember one time he was ill, but we're at a good place now to talk
What you
about
just
it.
say about my dad?
And so one time I bought some cookies in there.
What?
And he got well.
He did.
But then as soon as he ate all my cookies, he got back sick.
He got sick. It's something about cookies,
Yeah.
ice cream, and Sprite. He got better.
Stress impacts speech. Stress impacts speech.
Stress can impact.
Your past can impact
That's what
speech.
you're filtering it through. Right. You're filtering it through. You're not filtering it through. And we've had to have those conversations like, okay, let's deal with the here and now.
Right.
Don't filter it through what happened yesteryear or yesterday or in the past. That's not
right
what we're dealing
now?
with.
What are we dealing
what
with
are we
right
dealing
now?
with right now?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I said sometimes your current status can impact speech. And what I mean by that is you can be at a different level than our United, which leads to my next one, in that when you're talking about communication and what could impact understanding is sympathy versus empathy. Now,
well, what do you mean by I'm just curious.
So my
like
wife asked me
level,
that.
what do you mean? That can go so broad.
Okay.
Level like spiritually, financially, we talking about. What do you mean level?
I was talking
Positions?
about base level when I was talking about, okay, for example, and the example I gave her, I said, men really, I said, so when you're dealing with your wife and you're dealing with a female, I said, when I'm talking about sympathy versus empathy, how it can impact understanding. Sometimes we don't need sympathy, both the husband and the wife. You need to be able to empathize. With
do
what
they know what
dealing
empathize means?
Go ahead and tell them what it is.
So empathy is not necessarily sympathy. Empathy is the ability to try to put yourself in that person's shoes. So empathy, a lot of times people will say things because maybe they don't understand or they don't relate. It might not be for you to understand. You may not have walked through it, but if I come to him and I say, this is bothering me, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm tired, I feel like everybody's pulling on me. That may not be his story. That may not be his experience, but I don't need you to give me advice based on your experience. I need you to say, if my wife came to me and says that she's tired, she's drained, she needs a break, she needs some personal time, I need to try to put myself in that situation and say, if that's what she says, then let me get that. Let me help her or allow her to have that. Not, well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't never get to, I didn't ask you what I'm saying me. And I need you to respect that I said, I'm tired. I need a break. I need some me time, or whatever the case may be.
And one of the best examples of that, because I had to grow in this area of empathy. And I believe a lot of men need to grow in this area, because
I thought you was going to get an example when you sent me on that vacation and showed up.
That's a good example. So I'm going to give that example.
Okay.
So my wife was working on her PhD.
Yeah. I had a newborn baby, a couple of months.
I was thinking about this the other day. I need to really, Renata, your friend that passed away, and another, y'all, I don't know who's the first African-American female, but y'all were like the only three. Y'all were like the first three.
The first one was
Jackie. Her name was Jackie, an African-American female. And then I think Rodney, the guy.
He was the guy.
And then Renata, then you. So you was the fourth person to graduate from that business program at the University of Auburn. That's history, man. Yeah. That's history. So anyway, we can celebrate.
Let me tell you the story.
Let me tell you the story. I got to tell the story. So my wife was
working on my PhD.
Newborn baby.
3-4 months old, maybe.
Right.
We pastored the church. Go on.
We had just started the church. So we pastored our church, no budget. It wasn't, nobody sowing into us. We used faith. I mean, we had to use our faith. Everything that my apostle taught us, we had to put that in.
Just started. Okay, so I got PhD program, newborn baby, 2 or 3 months old, brand new church. Just started my first faculty position.
Yes.
All of that plus all the other dynamics in life.
All right. So here we are at this point in the program where she had 5 years to complete the program. She got to her, was it 5 years? I don't know. She got to the end.
I was in a tight spot.
She got to the place where if she did not defend by a certain date, all of those years she was in the program, she would have been out of the program. Pause, commercial break. I didn't think they did that for real.
No, they put you out.
I just witnessed that.
They put
It
you
is
out.
crazy.
They'll put you out.
And I fought for the student, but
Yep.
they will put you
They'll
out
put
of
you
their
out. They'll
doctoral
put
program.
you out.
So I didn't think they were going to put her out. But so okay. So I'm building it up. Now, if she does not get her PhD,
I lose my job.
she loses the job.
And everything that came with
And
insurance.
all of that money that we paid over those years for her to get her PhD
would have just been a
that just goes to
donation.
waste. Because you can only transfer 9 hours from graduate program to graduate program. 9 hours is 3 classes.
Okay.
That's it. So you see the picture. Am I painting the picture?
You getting deep into the program. They're like, wait, we're going. Okay.
So I said, my wife needs a break.
Okay.
So I went and rented her this nice room, and it was a suite, and took the baby.
The baby went to Birmingham to my mom's.
And I said,
and I just wanted to be. I had got my Joyce Meyer CDs. I got my bubble bath. I just needed to be
to recharge.
I was so tired. I just needed to recharge. Let their words speak to me. Order me a pizza. They drop it off at my hotel room. That's it, y'all.
When I dropped that baby off, every man that's listening to this chat know what I did. I circled back.
He showed up at the hotel.
Y'all.
And asked me what room. I said, excuse me?
Was
livid. I didn't let you in. You didn't come. Oh. I didn't tell him where I was. I said, no.
I said,
no, I'm tired. I want to be. And he didn't understand that. He didn't understand, like, what do you mean? I needed to just be.
Right.
I needed to lay in the tub as long as I need to lay in the tub. Listen to the word as long as I need to listen to the word. Eat me the whole pizza box if I needed to. Go to sleep, wake up, go. I needed to be left alone. And he was so upset because I told him, no, sir. You told me you were putting together this getaway for me to refresh. And you gonna show up?
Yeah, I felt so bad.
He felt rejected. He got to live it.
Oh, so bad. So
he made me mad.
Feelings hurt all. She wouldn't tell
but see, that wasn't, he wasn't showing empathy. He was just thinking about, he wasn't trying to see what I really needed and what I had cried out to him.
Well, she had cried in prayer and stuff. But now, fast forward to 2013. Now I'm working on my PhD, my doctorate degree.
All of a sudden he understood.
Y'all.
He understood.
I said, everybody need to get out of this house.
Leave me alone.
I don't want nobody to touch me. Please, y'all get away from me.
But see, this is the
don't
thing.
Ever, y'all. I did
don't
not
talk to me.
I tell don't talk to me.
But listen, this is the thing, and I feel that I gave him what he needed. But
you
what I've always
you did, Kim.
I did.
You did.
But I always tell him.
I didn't understand.
And he apologized. I said, I get you understand what I was going through, but it should not have taken you to walk through it for you to understand. You should have took me at my word. That's empathy. You should have said, if she says this is what's going on, let me give her what she says she needs.
And so
you shouldn't have to walk through it in order to show empathy to someone else.
Right.
Okay.
And so that all goes back to that piece of what I was saying, what impacts understanding.
Yeah.
See, empathy impacts understanding. If you're not willing to back up and say, let me see it from their vantage point. If you're not willing to do that, that'll impact your understanding. And y'all, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it. I was horrible. I acted a clown. I acted upset. But she stood her ground and she said, I need this time. I need this time. And I was like, time away from me. And I'm thinking she gonna have another guy in the room and all.
Only guy came was that pizza guy to drop off that pizza. I needed that pizza.
Did you get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so we have to learn how to understand each other. And a lot of that can just come through communication. When I talked about that listening piece.
Just listen.
And I said, sometimes you gotta be able to listen, but hear
what they're saying.
Jesus would always say this when he was preaching. Jesus would say, he that has an ear,
let him hear.
Let him hear what the Spirit
is saying
to the church. See, you listening
But are
But
you,
are you hearing?
That's key. He said, let him hear. In other words, you can listen but not hear.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes our spouses, guys, we are not hearing them.
Yes, they're crying out.
We're not.
Because another
them.
example I use, that a man has a great need for respect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he has a great need for respect. Now, is that fixing plates? I got a whole mess up teaching on about that. That's not respect. That may look like respect to that person, but sometimes when the husband is saying, you need to show me some respect, you need to show me some respect. Now, I'm not trying to flip it. I'm gonna come back, but I'm just talking about the things that impact understanding. When the husband is saying that, instead of you listening, you need somebody trying to hear.
Yeah.
And say, okay, so talk to me, explain to me.
He said, I want my voice to matter.
And then you'll begin to hear things like, when you stay gone all day and don't call, when you stay out all night with your friends and don't and give me that's what he's saying, because see, that is like number one on a man's list is respect. That's like number one. We're gonna talk about needs and wants later on down the year, but that's like number one. And if you're not giving it, and so then it all goes back to, you gotta hear
what they're saying.
And if I would just heard her crying out, she was my wife, because I was out there trying to coach football, chase this career that I thought I was gonna be a black Nick Saban. I thought I was gonna, really do this thing. And that was not what God had called me to do. He had called me to do something great. He was using football to get me as a vehicle to get me where I need to be. Mm-hmm. But when you was crying out all the time, and I was gone, her and my newborn baby. Her and Dylan. I think that's why they closed now.
Me and my deep bugger lugger.
You and D, I was so
deep bugger luggerlicious.
But did I interrupt what you were saying?
No,
I'm
but
sorry.
I think that's so important to hear. We don't hear. We don't hear each other. We really don't hear each other the way that we should.
Right.
And a lot of times, we've talked to several couples, and once you get them to kind of calm down and talk, a lot of it's just miscommunication.
When they put the gloves down, and I always ask this question.
Put the defenses down.
I always ask this question: are you listening, or are you waiting to speak? See, that was my thing. I was waiting to speak because I'm a good debater now. I can pull apart, shred what you're saying. So when you're talking to me, instead of me seeking understanding and say, okay, let me hear what she's saying, I'm shredding.
Yeah.
I'm shredding it. All you doing is going to class. All you doing is doing some math problems.
You've been in school for years. You got this. And
then I took quantitative statistics.
Baby.
That subject is from the devil. Satan created that one. He created I'm telling you, the devil created that. That chi-square, he created that. That T-test, what they call T-test? T-test.
Baby.
And then you go to the third one. What I did was I didn't do it. Regression.
Baby.
Regression. That's from the devil.
That's just
the devil created that.
That's just the first appetizer when it comes to statistics. But we have to really hear each other.
We got 1 minute, Kim.
Okay, let me say this. And we have to be patient, because the part about that is we don't always articulate ourselves the best way. And so, like he gave the example about respect. Then I had to go to that part, like, I know he loves me. I know he's not dogmatic. Now, when you just throw the word respect out, most women be like, what you mean? I said, he ain't that kind of guy. I said, I'm not. I said, Lord, help me to hear him. And so let me hear and let him talk. And then as he talked it, I got an understanding of what he was trying to say, that he didn't package it the best way. We got to take our time with each other. We take our time with everybody else, but we don't do each other like that.
Because my wife's very independent, y'all. My wife will go out there. She'll change the tire. And every man know, you walk downstairs and you go out there, she got the jack under the car. You're like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Kicking butt and taking names. You was busy, I'm rolling.
Understanding. Let's run through these right quick, and then we'll get off of here. We're not gonna be able to get to these.
Well, don't run.
Well,
take your time so they can hear.
You're right.
And they can understand.
I hope y'all got something out of the lesson today.
Did he apologize to me? You want to apologize?
I apologize so many times.
Oh, that's what we needed. That's
so many times. So many times. The cruise. Remember the cruise?
We have example after example.
Y'all.
The Lord done a work.
He's done a work.
He's done a work.
He's done a work.
He's done a work.
And one of the things that I was doing, and I think which is unfair, and a lot of husbands do this, and I'm not trying to rag on the husbands, but I'm just telling you some of the things that we do that can cause some problems.
Okay.
We compare our spouse to our mother.
And ain't your mama.
Okay. Now, my mother is
your mama is your mama.
Amazing woman.
She is, but ain't your mama.
But they're different. They're different. You shouldn't.
She was your daddy's wife.
Exactly.
And I'm yours.
Right. And so, and I think, because you know what, Kim, because when we start teaching this, I'm already start preparing for a respect in a marriage and honor in a marriage. I'm prepared. That's going to be our big one that we always close out with around our anniversary, honor and respect. I think I was wondering, here's what I was asking myself.
Okay.
What is the origins of fixing plates? Like, where did that come from? I wondered it because I remember you used to tell me stories about how the preacher would come to your grandmama's house, and you said nobody eat till the preacher had it, right?
No, but he was gonna get his plate. First. Yeah, my grandma made he was gonna get his plate, then the guy's gonna eat that plate. Yeah.
And sometimes us looking at that, we've learned a trait, and we've attached it to what's going on right now. When mutual respect should be, if you cooked, then I'll fix plates.
Teamwork.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It should be a dual approach. Now, I'm not gonna say that.
You ain't got no time to get into fixing.
I'm not gonna say that because I'm gonna say, because we had this friend. I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah, don't get into it. We'll have to talk about the fixing plates another time. But I have some thoughts. I don't know about maybe where it or.
Where did that come from?
I don't know if it came from.
That was an issue with me and Kim. A lot of married couples I've talked to, that is an issue.
We should do some research on
where did that come from.
At first, I was going to think about slavery and because a lot of women, domestic thing. But I don't know. It might have gone back even for just domestically, women being, historically, taking care of the home. I don't know. We'll do some research on it.
Because I was wondering, what I was saying was, I know we got to go. What I was saying is, I said, when I can understand, like, if a wife maybe been home all day and don't do anything, but
you get on the whole.
That's what I'm saying.
You just go.
Raising children
is a job within itself.
It's a job.
I did
it.
It's a job.
I did it.
It's a job.
It's a job, y'all. It is a job.
It's a job.
It's a job. And I can't tell you.
And it ain't for the faint
I can't tell you how many times I went to Kim and said, baby, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Like, I ain't know.
I ain't know them PTA memes. Like, I ain't know I had to work the cassette. I ain't know.
I ain't know they just keep talking.
I ain't know they just keep talking. I didn't know. I just didn't know. You got to 70 people. And I came from education. I'm in education. I didn't know, but
we'll talk about those.
Just talking about that. But we want to talk about that on next week. We'll talk about law breaking. I hate winging all I know.
That's okay. Hopefully it was.
But some of our counseling sessions go too.
Sometimes I guess you gotta.
People may need that.
Talk it out.
Ooh, we over. Yeah. We over. All right. You want to do Life 101? You gonna
Life 101? Let's go.
You gonna do it for me? You got it right.
Hey guys, this portion of the show is called Life 101. And we always talk about things that we talk about and share. And my husband's just talking about this thing about respect, right? And so I just want to pose you a question.
Okay.
Regardless of the time of year it is, if your spouse is in a room and they're already watching TV, is it appropriate to come in and get the remote control and change?
If
Whether it's
They
football
watching
season or
them
not.
shows about killing people
No.
and cheating,
No,
poisoning
I
your
wanna know-
husband.
No. We talk about respect and roles and responsibilities.
No, you shouldn't.
Does the man control the remote control?
No, you don't. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. You should have respect for your spouse and say, hey, I'll wait.
Do you mind if I change the
Yeah,
station?
Yeah. But here's the thing.
Nope. I just wanted to get
y'all know always got to come back, right? Here's the thing. I was chilling downstairs. Fine, you asked me to come. I'm just joking.
Yeah. All right, guys. I was just curious. Just curious. You guys have a blessed one.
Yeah, we got. I got my bag. All right, guys. I think that was a great show, Ken. What do you think?
I think so. I think we covered some good ground. Hopefully, you guys got something out of that, especially being empathetic. And if that's not some people have to grow in it. Ask God to help you about that. You can grow in that area to be more empathetic. It's something that we need here in the world.
God bless you guys. We'll see you next week.
Take care. Bye-bye.